Greetings, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another Connect with Princess. So excited to be with you today. I am Marcia Patrick, Regional Sales Director, covering Western United States, the Midwest, and all of Canada. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Carmen is taking a day off. I don't even know if I've ever said that before, but Carmen is taking a day off. So she is not with us today, but she is with us in spirit always. So we will miss her, but we're happy for her to actually take a breather and rest and recharge. So we've got a lot going on to share with you today. So let's get going so we have enough time. So as a reminder, yes, we are recording this. We record every single webinar that we present with you all. Today, we have both our travel advisor partners and consumers on Facebook who would like to join with us. And the reason we do that is because there has been a clamoring from our consumers who sail with us to get some information about Princess as well. So sometimes they're TA only, and this one happens to be for both consumers and travel advisors. Stick around at the end of this webinar for Q&A. So you guys submit pre-registration questions. I personally, myself and Joe, read through these and select some questions that are popular to answer for you. And as always, have your phones ready because Joe does an excellent job providing QR codes with links to different places within OneSource and on websites so that you guys can have access to all this great information. So thank you for joining us. Let's see, I'm going to take a look before I move forward. Who do we have here? Okay, we've got, hi, Dawn. Okay, thanks, Joe. You put something up I can't say. Waxahachie, Texas. Okay, Anthony. Hi, Anthony from Indiana. Roger Krause, hello, from Palmetto, Florida. We were just in Florida. We're going to talk about that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for spending your time with us this morning and this afternoon, depending on where you are. So first thing we want to do is we want to say a huge thank you to everybody who voted for us with the Travel Weekly Magellan Awards. We've got 5 Gold Awards and 2 Silver Award winnings, and we're super excited about them. So we're going to go through them really quick, but we've won the Gold Marketing Promotional Video. So that's the Experience the Incredible New Sun Princess video. We'll talk more about her in a minute. The Gold Cruise Overall Premium Ship on the Sun Princess for the Next Level Love Boat. Yay, Sun Princess is killing it. Gold Cruise Elements Premium Ship Entertainment, Spellbound by Magic Castle. I got to experience a little bit of this, so we'll talk about that. Silver Cruise Overall Cuisine, the greatest foodie destination at sea on the Sun Princess. And yes, we did get to enjoy some of those wonderful foods, so we know that we deserve that award as well. We've got another Gold Award that we won for Cruise Elements Premium Ship Itinerary. So that was the total solar eclipse with Princess. That got a lot of buzz, and we're going to talk about where you can do this again with us in 2026. Also a Gold Award for Cruise Marketing Education Program for Princess Partners. Thank you so much, you guys, for voting for all of these for us. And then the Silver Cruise Marketing Webinar, Connect with Princess webinars. So now our Connect with Princess is award winning because of you. So thank you guys so much. We cannot thank you enough for all of your votes, as well as spending the time with us to watch our videos. All right, and then we've got a big one coming. I would be remiss if we did not talk about this. So Travel Weekly Reader's Choice Awards. We're going for the gold. As you guys know, we've won this 20 times. We have got to win it 21 times. So voting is on now. There's a QR code to get your phones if you have not voted yet. Also, we're up for actually 22 awards, but Alaska means so much to us that we put a lot of focus here. So we would love for you to vote Princess all the way down the ballot. But if nothing else, make sure you vote Princess in Alaska. Thank you guys for that. And then we have an amazing webinar coming up for you. So first of all, we did this last year and you guys loved it. So it is back. There is an encore presentation happening with Mary Jekyll, who is our Director of Alaska Planning and Marketing, and Lisa Syme, who is our VP of Alaska and Performance Marketing. So look at Lisa there. You will never guess how long Lisa has been with this company. Any guesses? Put some guesses in the comments. How many guesses do you think? How many years do you think Lisa's been with us? Yay! Thank you, Geraldine. Are you on Sun Princess now? Is that the same Geraldine that I know? Anywho, okay, so 26 years, 25 years, 30 years, 32 years, 28 years. Guess what? Lisa Syme has been with our company 42 years, right? She doesn't even look 42 years old, but she's 42 years of longevity with Princess, and she knows her stuff in Alaska. She and Mary Jaquel are phenomenal. So there's a QR code here so you can register and join and watch that webinar that's happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Join and hear all the great things that we have going on in Alaska. Thanks, guys. Okay, and then just last weekend, it's such a blur, but just last weekend, we were on the beautiful Sun Princess, and it was my first time stepping foot on this beautiful ship. I can't even, words cannot describe how beautiful this ship is. She is different, yet still feels like home for Princess, right? So we also won a Condé Nast Award. I don't know if you heard about this, but Sun Princess was awarded Reader's Choice Award for the best mega ship. It gives me goosebumps every time I say it because this is our first mega ship, and for us to be able to come out of the gate and win such a prestigious award with Condé Nast is amazing. So that just tells you how special Sun Princess is. We had all kinds of special activities with our travel advisors. There was an 80s night that I didn't know was happening, but I sang my heart out. It was like a sing-along. The next day, I barely had a voice. Everybody had a fabulous time. Thank you to all the partners who were able to join us. And thank you to everybody who's selling Sun Princess well right now and is going to continue to sell Sun Princess because she is fabulous. But let's get to what we are all here for. We are here to talk about a most epic cruise. So there was a lot of chatter and I think a lot of excitement when Joe sent out the invite for this. Everybody wanted to hear about it. And we have brought with us an amazing expert in Debbie Holbrook. She's our Director of Deployment and Itinerary Planning. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi there.
Hi, Debbie. I'm going to ask you, you've been before, so you're almost like a regular at this point, but how many years do you have with Princess?
I just rung in 19 years last month.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, we love having you in the itinerary. You guys are such experts. You put together such beautiful itineraries. We are excited to have you join us to talk about Circle Pacific, what we just announced.
Yes, so we're really excited is that we have a brand new cruise that, interesting enough, this was already published as a world cruise on Coral Princess in 2026. And due to all the challenges that we're having in the Middle East, we decided, you know what, we're going to revamp the itinerary and take her out of the Red Sea. So instead, we have created this is the most ports we have ever had on a cruise. So it's going to be 60 different destinations and scenic cruising experiences and other experiences that you're going to get to do on board. And it visits over 19 countries. And we always love seeing the UNESCO World Heritage sites throughout the world. And so our ship is going to bring you to at least 45 of them that you would be able to have the opportunity to experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we just announced this on Monday, and this will go on sale on October 28th, and that will be the same day that groups open as well.
Yes, we had lots of questions about groups. So groups open on the same day, October 28th.
Yes. And there's many reasons to book this cruise, especially early. Some of the early booking offers include $500 onboard credit for guest and suites and mini suites. A first-class airfare is included. There is economy air for balconies. And of course, Princess Premier. So not just Princess Plus, but Princess Premier with drinks, specialty dining, and so much more. So it's just such a full package.
Unlimited specialty dining. So we actually didn't call that out. It's unlimited drinks and unlimited specialty dining. So that's incredible.
It's really going to make it I can't even imagine, because you can book this cruise for 115 days, or we even have 131 days. That includes the Panama Canal. And then you get all this for that cruise as well. So it's just such a great, incredible experience, once in a lifetime. Absolutely. And then for those, we are selling it in smaller pieces. So we do have liners, which are kind of half the cruise. And then we also have segments, and the segments would be from probably anywhere from 25 to 50 days. Like it's such a variety. And then there will also be early booking like an onboard credit, depending on the length of the voyage. And then the Princess Captain Circle members can also save up to $1,000. So it's just jam-packed of specials. And
so pretty amazing that you can do round trip LA.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, that's a great point, Marcia.
Yeah.
If you can drive to the port, pack a lot of clothes, because I would take a lot of clothes if I was going on this cruise. Packing skills, and then you get to go south to Hawaii, to the South Pacific, New Zealand, Australia, Asia, and then back over at the perfect time to get the beginning of the summer, the spring summer in Alaska. So then you get to see Glacier Bay, and it's just, then you come back down the west coast of the United States, including California, and you come right back to Los Angeles. So it's pretty convenient.
Yeah, very nice. Talk about easy. So if you live further away or not in Los Angeles, you have that opportunity to get air included. But if not, you can also drive up. And you tell me, Debbie, if you want me to advance your slides for you.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, I'm ready now. So thank you.
Okay.
And we're going to just take you through the journey a little bit. We'll take it in the sections. So the first section is, and I'd mentioned there's segments. So the first segment we're going to talk about is Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia. And so some of the highlights of sailing across the Pacific and down to the South Pacific is being able to go to Honolulu, and it's Hawaii's state capital. There is a ton of opportunities to do things, from going to see Pearl Harbor, which is the site of the USS Arizona Memorial, which is such a moving experience to be able to go and view and be a part of that part of history. And then also, once you head down, you're going to cross the equator, which is always a fun experience on board. And then once you get down there, we're going to hit Fiji. And so Dravuni Island is the island we will be hitting in Fiji. And it's just beautiful because it's volcanic peaks. And what's interesting is there's a small village nearby, very remote, of just 200 villagers who are super friendly. And it's just the most welcoming experience to be able to come visit Fiji on this cruise.
That sounds amazing.
And then as
talk about immersing in culture.
Yeah. Yes. It's just so many opportunities. And then when you get to New Zealand, you are able to sail down the coast of New Zealand and then head over to Sydney for that. Maybe some guests will be getting off, others will be joining us. And then hopefully many are going to just stay on board and head on to the next segment.
Exactly.
And this is one of the beautiful, beautiful scenery that you're going to be able to see. And this is in Papeete, French Polynesia, Tahiti, of course. And it's just, the water is really this green. So it's just something that's not to miss. And hopefully the guests who have joined us here on this webinar, as well as our travel advisors who are here, is just something to be able to check so many things off that life list of being able to explore more places.
Imagine seeing 19 countries on one trip, right? Talk about life list, right?
Oh, yes. And so I mentioned going to Suva. So here is a glimpse of some of the really interesting cultural opportunities that you have. And so you're able to visit a village and learn how the locals live and learn some of the customs that have been handed down from generation to generation. And it's just an amazing time to be able to meet locals, learn about the island itself, and it's just not to miss.
Amazing.
Oh, Mama,
I want to go.
This is on my bucket list too. I need to ask my boss for a lot of time off though. All right, so now we have our next segment. So this is where we head from Sydney and then around the south of Australia. And so I mentioned we are going to have some stops in New Zealand. And you can see here that we have Tawanga, which is a really neat destination in the north of New Zealand, as well as Picton. And Picton is it's on the north end of the South Island. And so there's 2 islands of New Zealand. And so it's on the north end of that. And that's where you get to see really incredible high peaks. And I don't know if anybody's seen The Hobbit or any of the movies like that. You can get a glimpse of New Zealand when you see movies like that. Then
amazing.
Heads down to Milford Sound, which you'll get to see a glimpse of what that looks like as well. And it's just a beautiful fjord experience. Like we have fjords in Norway, we have fjords down in New Zealand as well. All right. And then here is something this just looks incredible that you get to go to a Maori village in Tauranga in New Zealand. And it's a 90-minute drive, so it's not that far. And this is one of the primary tourist destinations of people experiencing New Zealand, and being able to be a part of this culture and the dancing. And it's almost like I can hear the slide. I think I can hear it. And like I said, being able to go through the Fiordland National Park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So there's one of the 45 that you have the opportunity to see. And this is very special because you get to see it from the ship. So we will spend some time sailing through the Fiordland National Park, and specifically to Milford Sound. And those cliffs, this isn't a fake picture. This ship is that
incredible
next to these massive cliffs that just cut right up into the air. So it's just good pictures, absolutely. And of course, so iconic when you're sailing into Sydney Harbor that you have the Sydney Opera House, you have the Sydney Bridge. And for really adventurous folks, not me, you can climb that bridge. I don't know, have you ever climbed the bridge, Marcia?
I have not, but I have heard of this.
So for those of you can climb.
I'm not brave enough.
I am definitely not brave enough as well. So, but it is just an icon. It's one of the best sail-ins and sail-aways that we have in all of our programs, to be able to see the Sydney skyscape and see all the buildings, as well as, of course, the Opera House again.
Just gorgeous.
And then once we leave Australia, we're going to head around. We'll have a stop in Perth via Fremantle, and then we're going to head up into the Southeast Asia portion of this cruise. And so this is where just being able to check port after port after port off.
Such an exciting portion of this itinerary. It's amazing to be able to have all these stops in this one trip.
Mm-hmm. And it's so many countries. You get to go to Singapore, you get to go to Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Hong Kong. So it's just nonstop. And then also, I know somebody had asked us in the Q&A, how is there overnights on this cruise? So I'd already mentioned earlier that we do have Papeete on this cruise in French Polynesia. And so we will stay overnight there, leaving early the next morning. So that's one of the overnights. And then here on the section, we have 2 overnights. So one of them will be in Long Shabang, which is the gateway to Bangkok, Thailand. So we'll spend 2 full days as well as the overnight in being able to access Bangkok. And then let's talk about the capital of Vietnam. So once we get to Kai Lan, which is on the other side of the Southeast Asia Peninsula, is the opportunity to spend an overnight in Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. So this is the gateway to be able to visit the capital of Vietnam. And then really special is that we'll sail out the next morning and do scenic cruising of Hai Long Bay. And I know we have a picture of that in a slide that you'll be able to see why this is something you should never leave off your bucket list. And so here we are in Singapore, and this is the Botanical Gardens. It's unbelievable how bright these flowers are. And it's 52 hectares, and it's just a massive, massive experience to be able to walk along this. And Singapore in itself is it's just a different city that is just such the commercial center of Southeast Asia. 5 million people live there, and it's just modern city, and it's not to miss.
This is gorgeous.
And then here we are so I mentioned the port is called Kai Lan, and that's how we get to Hai Long Bay. So we'll stay overnight, and then once the cruise is ready to depart, we will take some scenic cruising through this area via the ship. This is also a World UNESCO Heritage Site. And like I mentioned, the green waters of Tahiti earlier, this is what this bay is known for, is these green, lush peaks, as well as this green, emerald green water that it's just someday. I've never been to Hai Long Bay, but I cannot wait to be able to see it. Then we'll be heading up Southeast Asia and come over to Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is a modern city with great landscapes. The harbor is another beautiful harbor to sail in and out, especially in the evening because the lights of the city are so lit up. And you can see one of the traditional junk boats here that there's opportunities to take excursions to sail on one of the junk boats.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I've totally my sound.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Can you hear me, Debbie?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And then
Okay.
that was just a perfect picture of just history along modern. So it's just kind of two juxtapositions of that. Now, this is part of the cruise that I'm very excited about too, is that we haven't had Japan on a world cruise in many years. And so we definitely have a presence in Japan with a ship based there over the summer. Here we are able to take guests on an amazing world cruise to be able to see the best of Japan as well, Korea. So we have a stop in Taiwan. We stop in Korea at Jeju Island, which is a very popular island spot. It's volcanic rock. It's very green and lush, and it's kind of similar to the Hawaiian Islands. So if you can think of what the pictures of Hawaii look like, or if you visited Hawaii, Jeju Island is quite similar.
I have not been, but I've heard wonderful things about Jeju.
Yes. And then, I agree, Joyce. There's just so many ports in Japan. And so we'll see a couple of them here, and just so you can see for yourself how beautiful the landscapes are and how lush and green the Japanese country is. And so this is the Golden Pavilion in Kyoto, which is accessible through Osaka. And this is just in this beautiful green garden. Though you can see the pond reflecting back on the pavilion. That is just glass water. It's unbelievable to be able to see this.
So this I've had the pleasure of seeing myself in person, and the pictures don't do it justice. It's just gorgeous. Yeah.
How lucky for you, because that just looks incredible. And then here we are, and now we leave and go to Tokyo. So we visit Tokyo, and this is an amazing temple that's in the middle of the city, and it was created to honor the goddess of mercy. It's from 7th century, so it's very historical, very old, and it's Tokyo's oldest temple. So this is right there in Tokyo, and just such, again, ancient history meeting such modern city right together. And of course, when you think of Japan and you see photos and postcards, and the idea of Japan is being able to look at this amazing Mount Fuji. And this is from the port of Shimizu, and that's not that far from Yokohama. And this mountain is over 12,000 square feet. It is an active volcano, and it's also a UNESCO heritage site. So it's definitely something you've seen in artwork. You've seen it. I've seen it so many times, and it's just unbelievable. And here you can also see the cherry blossoms. So,
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
And the cherry blossoms, there's also plum blossoms. There's it in that time of the year. We're going to be here in a different time of the year, but you may be lucky because flowers flower sometimes when they feel like it. That's our schedule or our itinerary.
Right.
And then once we finish up in Japan, we'll stop at the top of the island of the country, and that is Hokkaido. And this island we'll be visiting Hakodate. And then once it's time to head over across the Pacific Ocean. And so one of the questions we had, because I see here we have a great representation of the date line. So date line represents when the minute you cross it, you either gain a day if you're heading to the United States, or you lose a day if you're heading to Asia in this instance. And so we have some very eagle eyes that know our original cruise, the world cruise that was going to go through the Red Sea, is 114 days. And that is because, and let me mention that our new cruise is 115 days. 114 days, 115 days. They leave and then come back on the same exact day, which blew our minds. We thought we're doing something wrong. But the whole reason of it is the original cruise sails west all the way around the world. And it crosses the date line once. So that means it loses a day. This cruise goes down to, when it goes down to South Pacific and Australia, it's going to cross the date line, lose a day. And then when it comes up to head to Alaska, it's going to gain that day back. So they cancel each other out. And then the cruise is 115 days. So I think you need a physics understand it because it blew our minds, but here it is.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a mouthful. I'm glad you knew that, Debbie.
I've been trying to figure out how to explain it.
So Dee has a good question that I'm going to answer. It says, this all sounds amazing. What about the people who are already booked on the world cruise? What are the options going to be? Great question, Dee. So we have lots of great information to share with you. Our sales team is actually going to do an outreach to everybody who has someone booked tomorrow. And then there's going to be communication that comes out to those that are already booked early next week. So Monday will be more information on that. We're going to take great care of people who are already booked on the world cruise as well. The option to move here is going to be there as well.
All right.
Good question.
Very good question. And definitely stay tuned for that. And if you can pop back one for a second, we'll
sure
look at the ports that we'll be visiting, because it's just immersive and just so many port stops that we're hitting almost everything in Alaska that's going to just blow your mind. And we start in Whittier, which is the gateway to Anchorage, and it's fun. You see the picture of the moose there. They wander around town. Eagles are soaring overhead. There's just great hotels, amazing food, and it's this first stop when you get there to Alaska, and it's just the beginning, because then you're going to sail through multiple glaciers, including Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay National Park. And you can see we have Skagway, Juneau, Sitka, Ketchikan. So many stops in Alaska that it's going to be something that you're not going to want to miss. And Ketchikan is such a neat community to go to. It's known as Alaska's first city, because a lot of travelers, as they're heading north for the gold rush, this was a place that they could stop and make a stop along the way as they're heading to make their fortunes. And it's neat because there's so much salmon and fish that I hope anyone who's visiting during this time, make sure they go have some amazing salmon, maybe some brews too, because Alaska's pretty good at the beer. I do.
They do.
And then here is an image of Hubbard Glacier. It is beautiful, beautiful. It's 1,200 feet into the water. So it's just a massive mound of ice that glaciers are calving. And when your cruise ship is so close, it's just incredible. And here you can see kind of the water and what happens when the ice is breaking into the water. That seeing glaciers this close is a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity.
Agreed. Beautiful.
And then, of course, the diamond of them all is the Glacier Bay National Park, because not only is there one glacier when you sail in there, there is many glaciers. And so the ship will sail up Glacier Bay National Park. It will head up to the very top, and you'll be able to, and when I did it, it was great because you could go up on deck and experience it with everybody, and it's just such an energy when you're out on deck looking at it. And then as the ship turns and so we'll take time so each side of the ship can spend time looking. I went back to my cabin. I got a Bloody Mary and enjoyed standing on my balcony. And we even had some calving happen, where calving is when a chunk of ice will break into the water, and it's so loud. It's like a shock, it's just so loud, and it's unbelievable.
Amazing. That's a good insider tip, that the ship does turn so that both sides can get to see the glacier, because we get a lot of questions sometimes. Which side of the ship should I put my cabin or my stateroom on? It really doesn't matter, because we're going to make sure everyone gets an excellent view.
Mm-hmm. And when I went, it was very equal and fair. So
yes.
we spent the same time on each side. And right here, so anybody who loves heights, I know lots of people love heights, that this is the Skagway White Pass Railway. And it's just awe-inspiring to see how large these mountains are, and this railway is just carved into the side of this mountain. It's a fully narrated experience that it's part of our shore excursion program, and this railroad was built during the gold rush. So as people were coming to make their millions and millions, many didn't, but many did, and this was the railway that you would take to get up there. And so it's the same path that headed up there, so it's just almost like being back in time. And it was built in the 1890s, so it is definitely a part of American history.
I've done this too, and while you're writing, you're just marveling about how they even built the railroads that in this area, right? You're like, how did they even get this into the side of this mountain? Incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have the West Coast part of the sailings, which will start in Seattle, Washington. And of course, there's the iconic Space Needle. It was built for the World's Fair. And if you have an opportunity, I definitely suggest going up there. There's a restaurant and it turns. And so it's kind of neat because if you're sitting at one of the tables, sometimes your kids will write notes and lay it on the side. And then as you go around, you'll come and see little notes from people, which is pretty neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Experience. And Seattle is so walkable. Everything is not that far away. So you can see the wonderful water views. You can head out into parks. There's just so much to see in Seattle. And then also what's really neat about Seattle, and tragedy builds something special, is that there was a huge fire in the 1880s, and the city was rebuilt with a new vision. And what's also neat is they have these tours where you can go below, because the city has been built up, because at first it was just very low, so they built it up, and you can go tour underneath and look up, and a lot of the sidewalks have these glass. You can't see through them, but you can see that there's people walking above you like shadows, and you're walking below and watching this happen above you. And of course there's ghost tours too, so anybody who loves a little scare, you can take the scary tour.
I already told you I'm not that brave, so no.
You should take the nice tour. All right, so then we're going to head down the west coast we're going to go to Astoria, Oregon, which any Goonies fans out there, Astoria was where the movie The Goonies was filmed, and there's a lot of local scenery and things and cityscapes that you would see in the movie that you can see in Astoria as well. And then you'll head down and hit some wonderful California cities such as Santa Barbara, Ensenada, Mexico, not California, but Ensenada, and then San Diego. And the culmination of the whole cruise, you're back in Los Angeles, right where you started.
Amazing.
And here we have the Santa Barbara Mission. And so Santa Barbara is a really neat city that it's a tender port. We bring you right into a great location by a harbor, and then you can walk or take a free trolley, because there's a free trolley there, or take one of the million different opportunities on shore excursions and walk right to State Street, which is this really neat place in Santa Barbara with restaurants, art museums, shops, and it's just right there, and it's so convenient. You walk right up the street.
You can do wine tasting in Santa Barbara as well.
Definitely. I think I see a vine right there behind the Mission. All right, and now we have headed south. So now we're in San Diego. This is a scene from Balboa Park. It's the nation's largest. I did not know this at first. It is the nation's largest urban park. So it's 1,200 acres. There's major museums. There's also the world famous San Diego Zoo. Have you been to the zoo? Yes,
I have.
It is really a great zoo with so much. It's world famous. The animals alone are going to blow your mind. And then also we have excursions to take you to the San Diego Wild Animal Park, which is kind of a safari experience. You can climb in open air trucks and drive along where the animals have huge habitats, and there's babies and giraffes and rhinoceroses and elephants, just you name it. And it's such a great experience to be able to do.
The park and the zoo are huge. They definitely take more than one day to get through it all. It's beautiful.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about the ship. So the ship is the Coral Princess. So she is 964 feet long. She can carry 2,200 guests. And because she was specially built for the Panama Canal with over 700 plus balconies, those guests that do book that first portion that starts in Fort Lauderdale, so you can book the round trip LA, or you could get on in Fort Lauderdale, you get to go through the historic locks of the Panama Canal. And the ship is built for that. There's so many balconies. And if you can see on the very back under the Princess Cruises, I love Coral and Island Princess because they have this public deck back there. So it's that's not a deck for cabins. That's a deck for anybody can go hang out there, watch the views, relax. So it's kind of very unique compared to some of the other ships you might have sailed on with us. And even greater news is she just went through a refurbishment this summer in 2024. So there's a lot of special updates for her.
Nice and shiny.
All right. So our onboard team has been working very hard to create an incredible entertainment lineup for this cruise that will be taking you all across the Circle Pacific. It's going to have many of our amazing shows. I love Encore. I see that on there, and it's just such a fantastic show. It's Broadway. It feels like you're watching a show on Broadway, and just the music is amazing. And there's just, you name it, on the Bayou, Stardust. It's just an incredible entertainment lineup that you'll be able to experience as you sail on this world adventure. And then, of course, we're going to have lots of guest entertainers who we're going to try to bring local on board. So there's going to be over 60 performers, folkloric shows, musicians, soloists, just so much entertainment to spend your evenings when you've visited these amazing destinations and you come back and join us on board. We're going to keep you happy, fed, and enjoying a wonderful time at sea. Some of these activities, the sailway celebration, of course, we've talked and looked at some of the places that these sailways will happen, including Sydney Harbor. There's always a great party on board. There's destination deck parties. So as you sail throughout the world, there'll be parties throughout that. And then there's just so many opportunities to do and learn. So learning how to make leis as you're heading to Hawaii, learning different dances, the tango, the salsa, taking language classes, arts and craft. And of course, I love trivia. I'm sure people here today love trivia. Can you imagine 115 days of trivia? I would love it. I'm sure it's going to be competitive too. Who's going to win? And
Yeah.
Good times. And then also there's lots of ways to have enrichment and learn more about the destinations that you're going to go visit, as well as after you visit. And that includes having experts of the locations come aboard and be able to educate us on what we've seen and what's an opportunity to be able to see. Of course, in Hawaii, we'll have bridge lecturers, ballroom dance instructors, like those arts and craft we can work on. There'll be instructors to teach you on that. And it's just it's not just seeing these destinations, it's learning and being able to have a greater appreciation for the sailing that you're on.
So after all that, I know there will not be a bored moment. Like there's something to do at all times and appeals to so many different people. We'd really do a great planning ahead of time to make sure that everybody has something to do on board those ships. And I imagine myself, I would probably come back with 2,199 best friends, right?
Oh, yeah. And you're right about that. It creates such a camaraderie, because think about how few people in this world experience something like this. So it creates such kind of like a brotherhood and there's of course going to be world cruise swag in the shop. So you can all have your special 2024 polo shirt or hat, or I like to have water bottles. So yeah, it's all going to be there for you to remember this incredible experience. And
so this is exciting.
Do you want to take this one, Marcia?
Sure. So we're super excited that when Coral was in for refurbishment and dry dock, that we took the liberty of adding Crown Grill. So we've replaced Bayou Cafe with Crown Grill on the beautiful Coral Princess, and that will be in place for this amazing Circle Pacific 2026 sailing. This ship also has Sabatinis, and you can reserve your time for a chef's dinner at the chef's table. I've done that myself. It's an amazing experience. The chefs get so excited about this because they're used to, having to please many palates. But when they can do a chef's table, they get to really get creative and they get excited about that. And so they come out and speak to you, and chef's table is just a really fun experience. It includes a galley tour, champagne and hors d'oeuvres, and then of course the multi-course custom menu crafted by the ship's executive chef. It's an amazing experience. I'm super excited to hear that we've put Crown Grill on the beautiful Coral Princess.
So there you have it. Our 2026 Circle Pacific.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie. You're going to stay on with me because I think you know some other inside information on what I'm about to cover as well. That is fantastic information. You know that it's going to open on the 28th for sale, and we're going to be sending out more information to you next week, starting on Monday, so that you can have all the details and be ready to open your groups and get your guest booked, and for those consumers that are on with us, that you can get yourself booked on this amazing cruise as well. So let's talk. Thank you, Debbie, again. Amazing job. There's so much to cover. So we're going to talk.
Absolutely fun making these cruises too. So it's the best job.
It is. Yeah. I mean, who better to talk about it than the person who creates the itinerary? So we're so blessed to be able to have you be the one that shares all the details about it. So thanks, Debbie.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk Transatlantic 2025. So this is an iconic opportunity, right? Transatlantics are really special. We have many opportunities. There is a 14-day Spanish passage. That's Fort Lauderdale to Barcelona. It's February 18th, 2025 on the beautiful Majestic Princess. Fares on this voyage start from $71 per day.
That's a steal.
It is a steal. You can't stay at home for $71 per day. So you might as well go see the world. An amazing opportunity. It calls to Seville, which is via the port of Cadiz, where you can visit the real Alcatraz. I didn't even realize there was a real Alcatraz until I started studying up on this. So it's a stunning place and has beautiful gardens. It's Madeira on the island of Funchal. Okay, you're going to help me, Debbie.
I say Funchal, but you can say it however you'd like.
Funchal, thank you, which has a Catholic church. So this is amazing itinerary because not only are you doing the Transatlantic, but you're also having some port calls included as well. And what a deal on the price.
Right there on the screen. And look, it's not a typical Catholic church that you're used to seeing in some other European cities. It's just pretty beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Island, you can see it on the map. It's kind of in the Atlantic Ocean. So it's something very remote. And Majestic Princess the sailing is in February. Majestic Princess is perfect for this because she, in the front of her, has this dome over the front pool. So you can like this hanging out in a covered area, and it could be chilly, could be nice. You never know. And just a great way to relax.
And Majestic has faux. Majestic has the faux bar on the top deck there by the pool. So you get nice hot soup. Amazing. So then we've got a 15-day Spanish passage as well. And this offers, it's March 24th. So let's all go for my birthday. My birthday is the 25th. I could be on the beautiful Emerald Princess for fares just at $69 per day. I didn't think it could get any more affordable, but it just did. And you get to walk along the sea and the picturesque. It's called Ajaccio in Corsica. So amazing, right? Look at this. Look at that water. It's amazing. So March 24th on the beautiful Emerald Princess. Don't miss that. It goes Fort Lauderdale to Rome. So this is for our East Coast family that wants to just walk on board the ship in Fort Lauderdale and then make their way, making some beautiful ports of call to Rome. All right, then we've got the 14-day Western Europe passage. That's Barcelona to Fort Lauderdale. So that's on the way back. That is in the fall of 2025. That's October 22nd of 2025. And this is on the beautiful Star Princess, brand new ship, sister to the Sun, who is already award winning. So you can only imagine what Star Princess is going to be like. And to be able to do 14 days on her right out the gate, because she will have just joined us in October. Fares are just $80 per day. Amazing. The beautiful ship, getting to see Gibraltar, which I've not seen myself. I would love to do that. That's the iconic rock where you can take a cable car to the top for spectacular views. The cable car alone, I think, would be amazing. Look at that.
It's so high. It's amazing.
It is. And you can't miss this. Again, Star Princess, amazing opportunity.
And she's going to, like you said, she's fresh. She's only has 2 sailings before this. She's going to have that new ship smell.
Exactly. And then we have the 14-day Western Europe passage as well, which is Southampton, our call to London, to Port Canaveral. And Port Canaveral being our first time making this a home port for us. So an exciting opportunity to get to Port Canaveral with Princess as well. So that's November 14th, 2025 on the beautiful Sky Princess. Fares from just $72 per day. Anybody who's booked a hotel lately knows that these are incredible prices because when you book a hotel, what do you get? You just get a room, right? You get a room and you get a bed. You don't get entertainment. You don't get your dining. You don't get, well, sometimes you get good service, but you don't get incredible service, and you don't get the crew who becomes family on these voyages, right? So booking a cruise is like a no-brainer. So you've got Normandy, right? The gateway to Normandy, where you can visit the D-Day beaches as well. I've not done this. Have you done that, Debbie?
I have not.
Yeah, this would be amazing. So it's the memorials and the museums dedicated to World War II history. So that, again, another life list, because Carmen has taught me not to say bucket list. So another life list item to get on with us. And then you guys had a lot of questions in the pre-registration about the new 2026 total solar eclipse sailing on Sun Princess. So thank you to Debbie for the amazing solar eclipse you put on for 24, because it was fantastic. I didn't get to go. I lived vicariously through a lot of our travel advisor partners and our guests who were posting pictures and videos and raving about this experience. So you have another chance at it in 2026. So we already had the beautiful Sky Princess doing the solar eclipse, and we are now announcing, or just announced a couple weeks ago, that we were going to also have the beautiful Sun Princess offering voyages there as well, a voyage there. So it wasn't earlier this week, it's been a couple weeks now, but 2026 solar eclipse cruise on Sun Princess. So giving clients more options in addition to the previously announced Spain, France, and Portugal with the total solar eclipse cruise on August 8th. That one's on Sky Princess. We've got 6 unique sailings because of the range, and you can pick from a 7 to a 21 day with rich Mediterranean port offerings. So this is departing between July 25th and August 8th, and it's now available on sale. It is not open to groups, so it's not open to new groups, but anyone who had a group on this voyage previously has the opportunity to continue to sell this as a group. So amazing. It's been so widely popular, we added another ship. So Sky and Sun are going to meet and offer a viewing of the total solar eclipse. Last time, I think they had Princess branded sunglasses, or the glasses that allow you to actually look at the total solar eclipse, because you have to be careful and make sure you have the right eyewear. It's iconic. And I think everybody already knows this, so I'm probably preaching to the choir, right?
And how perfect. You can see the sun from the sky. It's like
look at that.
Perfect ships, Sky and Sun, to see this celestial phenomenon.
Look at that play on words. You're good, Debbie. So the 14-day Mediterranean with the total solar eclipse, Athens to Rome, that's August 1st on the beautiful Sun Princess. You're seeing UNESCO sites in Florence, Pisa, Athens, Rome, Barcelona, and so much more. You can see the itinerary there. It's a little small, but you go to Kotor, Corfu, Santorini, Barcelona, Cartagena, Gibraltar. There's so much. And then we've also outlined the little yellow dot there is where the ship will be positioned to see the total eclipse. Amazing. We curate everything for you. And then we've got the 14-day Spain, France, and Portugal. That is also total solar eclipse. Round trip Southampton, August 8th on the Sky Princess. And there's a late night in Lisbon, so you don't want to miss that. And this is actual shot or picture from the solar eclipse that we did this year. And everybody taking advantage of those specially designed princess sunglasses to be able to see the eclipse.
And it's
pretty
incredible
iconic.
That it looks dark, because
I know.
In the middle of the day. It's right before lunch, I believe, when it happened.
Yeah.
Close to Mexico, and it gets dark.
Yeah, and it looks like there's almost a sunset happening, right? You can see that back in the back there.
And what was really neat about the one that happened in 24 is that we had 2 ships out there. So the 2 ships were out there together, and they could see each other, and so that was doing the horn wars and everything like that.
Yeah.
Now we have land in between our ships this time, so you can see on the map for Sky Princess here, her solar eclipse is up on the top of Spain, and then Sun's is going to be in the Mediterranean Sea. So because the totality goes right over the top of Spain, it's just you can kind of get to take your pick. Do you want to see it in the north or the south? So there you go.
Right, pretty amazing. So get yourself booked. All right, and we got some news, notes, and reminders. So we're going to go over a couple of things really quickly here. So we've got year-end deals on the 2024 South America and Antarctica, reduced fares and special reduced air deals. right? So what we heard was that one of the barriers to possibly booking was that air was really expensive. So what we did was we negotiated some special air deals. So prices are a little bit less expensive now on the air side. So make sure you take a look. You can get a balcony for the price of an interior. It's available on the 2025 World Cruise segments and also select South America cruises. So that offer ends October 31st. So we've got, I don't know, maybe 15 days, maybe less. And then there's a QR code here so that you can put your camera on it and go directly to the voyage list and see where these special offerings are for you. We've got the 17-day Antarctic round trip Buenos Aires. So that's December 18th, coming up pretty quick on the beautiful Sapphire Princess. She's a multi-winner of our Gold Cup. So we have this service challenge that goes on board on our ships, and Sapphire Princess has won multiple times. We did our sales meeting on Sapphire Princess, and we could see why they won. The service is incredible. So to have this Antarctic sailing on Sapphire is pretty special. You get 4 days of scenic cruising of the Antarctica on Christmas and also a New Year's cruise. That's pretty special. Anything you want to add here? Because you've cultivated all these.
It's real, and we kind of give you an idea. So when you're looking at the map of Antarctica, we give you an idea because the actual route gets decided closer in because of weather, and often there's decisions made the day before of, you know what, we're going to have a better experience here. We want the guests to get the best view of Antarctica we can. So you kind of are on a wait for your adventure kind of cruise, which is really neat. And one of the other reasons that sailing with Princess to Antarctica is that it is the Strait of Gibraltar is a world-renowned set of water that can be quite rough. And can you imagine that on a tiny little? I did it on a tiny ship. Oh yeah. I was thinking I would love to have been on Sapphire Princess to sail across the Strait of Water. Just by sheer mass of the ship, it's just a much smoother ride.
Right.
And then you can see all this off your balcony. So that's where it's just really neat and these fares, I can't believe it, $93 a day to go to Antarctica.
$93 a day. Again, I don't know about you all, but I cannot stay home for that. So you might as well see the world. So you're in deals
on Amazon last night.
Yeah, exactly. Although you're not safe because we have good Wi-Fi, so you can still be shopping. You're in deals on South America, $76 per day for the 18-day Andes in South America. That's December 1st on Majestic Princess. $71 per day on the 18-day Brazilian Adventure, and that's Fort Lauderdale to Buenos Aires. That's November 13th. That's coming up pretty quick on Sapphire Princess. And then $71 per day for the 35-day Antarctica and Brazilian Grand Adventure. That sounds amazing. That leaves November 13th, also on the beautiful Sapphire Princess. That is Fort Lauderdale to Buenos Aires. Amazing. You guys get to booking these. It's an incredible opportunity. And then we've got a 51-day South America Grand Adventure, LA to Fort Lauderdale. That's crazy. December 1st, 2024, Majestic Princess, 17 ports of call. Look, we can barely even put it on all in a picture. It's so jam-packed. 17 ports of call with overnights in Lima, Buenos Aires, and Rio de Janeiro. Like all the places you would want to overnight. Incredible. All right. And then quickly, we're going to remind you about Sanctuary Collection. You guys have heard about Sanctuary Collection. Please make sure that you're sharing this with your friends, your family, other travel advisors. This is Princess's dive into the ship within a ship concept. We are late to the party, but we are the party, right? Doesn't matter that we were late. We were actually able to take a look at what everyone else was offering and improve upon it with our entry at this point in time. So not only can you do Sanctuary Collection from suites, but we've included 123 mini suites and 12 deluxe balconies. And what that means to you and your family and your friends and as our TAs to your guests, it means that more of the family can participate and still be able to eat together in Sanctuary Collection. And age is not an issue. The only age requirement we have is for access to the Sanctuary Club, the guest has to be 16 years of age or older. Other than that, all ages can participate in the Sanctuary Collection and reap the benefits. Make sure you're sharing this information, that it's available on Sun and Star, already on sale. Sun had its first sailing with Sanctuary Collection on October 14th, getting rave reviews. The team up in the Sanctuary Club have been butler trained. So the service is next level in the Sanctuary Club area as well. So we've extended our offer for Sanctuary Collection to October 31st. So you have up to $1,400 in saving. There's a QR code so you can get to the flyer that has the details on this special offer. Make sure you get your guests booked and get them trying Sanctuary Collection at an amazing offering. And then not only are we doing something for guests, we're also doing bonus commission as well for travel advisors who book a cruise during this time period for their clients. And then we have an amazing deal that's going on right now. It ends October 31st. That's up to 40% off plus a $99 deposit. Again, now through October 31st. This is our limited time offer that allows you to get to the glaciers, to go to Europe, to see the Caribbean with us in 2025. Make sure that you are taking advantage. 4 days only. We've got a little bit of boost that starts today. $400 up to $400 onboard credit. Free thirds and fourth guests, and up to 40% off plus the $99 deposit. That's from October 17th through October 20th only. So it's 4 days only for this special addition to the 40% off and the $99 deposit. Yay! That's a lot of information. So we have a couple of questions that you guys asked us in advance, so we're going to cover those. And I'm going to put up these QR codes in case I moved along too fast so you can still use your phone to get to those. All right. Will groups be available on these sailings? And I'm assuming that's the Circle Pacific.
Yes.
That is an absolute yes. Thank you, Debbie.
And it will open on October 28th for space for groups. Yeah.
Yes. So when it goes on sale, you can also open your groups. Will we be able to see the pricing before October 28th for the Circle Pacific? So information is supposed to come out on Monday, and then we'll have lead-in fares and rates, and you will be able to see this prior to it going on sale. Yes, great question. Chaika says, can groups be booked for any of the segments? Yes, groups can be booked for segments as well.
That's a great picture too. I love that profile picture for that last question.
Oh yeah. When will South America cruises come out for December of 2026? You want to take that one, Debbie?
Sure. So that's going to be in the spring of 2025. So it's not that far off, I guess. It's going to be spring of 2025. We'll have our South America for 26 and 27. So it'll run December-ish through February, March of 27.
Got it. And we still have some fabulous things available for 24. Make sure you're booking those and 25. Great job, Debbie. Oh, good job.
Thank you.
It's nice to have the opinion cemented by those watching. So thank you. All right. I think we have a couple other questions. Okay, why? Okay, this is a mouthful. This is definitely going to take a special person to answer, and I think that special person's you, Debbie. Why is the 114-day world cruise round trip LA on the Coral Princess the same day as the 115-day Circle Pacific cruise with a totally different itinerary?
And we did the long answer earlier. The short answer, so when people ask you, because I'm sure you're going to be asked a million times, is it crosses the date line twice, and they cancel each other out. So on the old one, you only crossed it once.
Yeah.
And on the new one, you crossed it once and then back. So they cancel each other out.
All right.
Because it's like next level.
Thanks, Joe, for also adding vote for Princess #1 Alaska. We're there for 22 different things. So I would also appreciate a vote on groups. But if you can only do one thing, make sure it's Alaska for Princess. All right. I think we had another question. No? Are we good? Oh, there we go. There's some ports on the 115-day cruise that have overnights, and that answers yes. And Debbie actually called out most of the overnight opportunities. So yes, that answer is yes.
And to recap, it's Papeete, we stay overnight in Tahiti, also in Kailan in Vietnam, and in Bangkok. So we'll be in Lam Shabang overnight, 2 full days. So you'll have plenty of time to go explore Bangkok.
Good. Okay, Joyce is asking, will you ever have Florida to LA again? We like to fly there and cruise home.
I'm assuming that's for South America.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that always, it just comes down to where our ships that are going to do the season are based. So sometimes we'll be moving. Interesting about Majestic Princess, and you saw that she's doing the LA to Fort Lauderdale one. And that's because we do dry docks in certain parts of the world. So we're moving the ships around the world. And that's when you'll see, and she's too large to go through the Panama Canal. So certain ships are approved for the Panama Canal and some of them are not approved. So she would have to go around South America. So if we have that same kind of movement happening, we would do it from Fort Lauderdale up to LA. So it's just stay tuned for the future.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank great presentation. Fabulous job. Hopefully I'll get to see you, Marcia, November 2nd. Oh, hi, Barbara. Hopefully I will get to see you. So I just want to thank you, Debbie, so much for sharing your intelligence, all that information that you have in your brain about all these wonderful ports and that Circle Pacific. I don't think we could have had anybody else share all that information for us. So thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody that took the time to watch today, and a reminder that this is being recorded, so you can access it later if you were unable to join the entire presentation, or if you weren't able to join us, you registered just to get the reminder. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Joan. We really appreciate that. Thanks, Joyce. We will see you soon. Our next webinar, I believe, Joe, keep me honest. I'm just going to look here. It's going to be travel advisors only. And let me just get the date so you all know. It's going to be on Halloween, October 31st. Wear your costumes. We'll see what Carmen and I come up with. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining us.